Welcome to the Magic and Miracles podcast, where we share and explore profound stories that bring science and spiritual together in the most illuminating and unexpected ways. A miracle is defined as something outside the realm of what you believe is possible for you. These stories will lift and enlighten, showing you that anything is possible. I am your host, Nicole Majik. Join me as we dive into real-life extraordinary stories that will captivate your curiosity, shift your mindset, and bring healing to your soul. From real-life angels to the strange and paranormal, get ready to embark on a new, inspiring journey with each episode that prove magic and miracles happen every day. Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode. Today, I have a very special guest. Her name is Lecroix, and she is a business astrology strategist and an oracle, and she helps women scale their businesses by designing a personalized marketing and growth strategy using, guess what? Yes, your birth chart and also the current cosmic energy that's going on right now. She used to be the biggest astrology skeptic, so here's what we want to be talking about today. And then she really took a deep dive into it and discovered just how powerful and accurate it was. So let's hear her story today on how astrology changed her life, changed her beliefs so profoundly that it is the reason that she brings her unique services to empower others. Welcome, V. Nice to have you on the show.
Hi, Nicole. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here today. I'm so excited.
Yes, and all the way from
Paris. Yay!
I want the listeners out there to hear your story because, sometimes we get so stuck in our beliefs that we feel like we have to stand by them even when we're starting to wonder. I want you to tell your story, how you came to astrology, why you were so skeptical, and what changed your mind.
So it's a bit like everything. It's a bit of a step-by-step process that I kind of went through. So first of all, spirituality has always been a part of my life, but I was more towards the tarot card readings, positive mindset side of spirituality rather than the old astrology side. Like even back then, like for me, crystals were weird. We're gonna use the word weird and not to be mingled with. So I kind of like what is a step-by-step thing. I started to have a really huge appreciation for crystals. First of all, because, well, they're pretty. I mean, they make for good, like, decoration in your table. But then I really started vibing with the energical side of crystals. So that was kind of like the first step. So I went from being a really big crystal skeptic to having like a huge crystal collection at home.
What was that first crystal that was calling out to you? What was it? Because there's that initiation with that first one.
Really simple. It was, I think, a canvasite. And for those who are not like really like crystal oriented, so a canvasite is kind of like this pretty ivory white with touch of really bright blue. And my favorite color is blue. So I mean, the first thing that I thought was, wow, this is a great blue. I must have it. So that was my first official crystal purchase. And then I was like, this looks great. I need more. And now I would say that I have a bit of a thing for malachite and amethyst, just because, like, both for the energical vibe and, well, they're pretty too. So,
Yes, they are.
really great combination, really.
Yes.
So that was really the first step, I would say, to me opening up to other things spiritual than my little safe comfort zone of tarot reading. Yeah. So after getting into the crystal and getting a crystal, becoming a crystal addict pretty much, I stumble upon this amazing astrologer whose name is Danielle Page. If you're not following her on Instagram, this is definitely someone you want to follow. By the way, no, I am not paid to say that. Um, and as I was reading her posts, like I really started vibing with her as a person, not necessarily with her whole astrology thing because I wasn't there yet, but her as a person was really appealing. Like we were like liking the same thing. She was funny. She was super direct, super sarcastic. So I was like, this is my person. This is my woman there. And I started taking her meditation sessions because she was offering monthly meditation sessions for the full moon. So that was something I was vibing it. Meditation, something totally liked. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna, get this girl's meditation things because, I'm into that. And I think I took her meditations for about 6, 7 months, like once a month. And finally, she went into a Black Friday huge discount thing on her website. So I was like, oh my God, my girl is having discounts. Yes. And I stumbled upon her level 1 class astrology like thing. And I was like, you know what? If there's a girl that can make me believe in astrology, it's that person. So I purchased her level 1 class for astrology. And from the first 5 minutes in to literally the end of the 10th session, that was the class, I was having light bulbs popping up into my brain. I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. How much sense does that make? Of course it is that way. Like, and I was like exploring my soul literally because this was the class that was mainly focused on reading your birth chart and teaching you to read it from A to Z. And I was just like falling in love with my soul all over again. Basically, I was getting to understand myself on such like a deeper level that connected all the little dots of like my spiritual practices that I was doing for years now, but also the other part of my life. So for me, it was just like this huge awakening moment of like, how was I not into this before? It kept growing from there.
Yes. So then what happened next? Like what was that transitioning piece that said, okay, I love this and I've done this work and I'm going to continue to do this work, but I want to bring this to other people.
As most of you might not know, I am also a bachelor in marketing. So one of my other pieces of my life is definitely marketing. I love it. Every part of like selling, I mean, I love selling. I just love it.
You know
So
that
fun.
there's a whole bunch of people out there, V, that are like, what? How can you love
I know.
selling?
I love it. I love it. It's fun. It's fun. It's like
They might need to hire
just
you.
fun.
That's all.
It's just fun. Like when you find something that you like, you just want to share it with others. It's fun. It's that fun. Anyway, so of course, after this first class, that basically like opened up my brain to a whole new like dimension. I kept doing. I kept like reading. I purchased books. Like I followed other classes. I followed the level 2 of that thing that was following the level 1. And as I was just like getting more and more into it, I was like, how many links of that can be made to business and selling? I mean, there are like literally money houses in your chart. I mean, business, money, selling, link there. And I was like, there has to be something that includes astrology in business. I was like, how sick would that be to use astrology for business? And then my spiritual mentor at the time was like, yeah, it's called business astrology. And I was like, this is a thing? Yeah. Like, other light bulb moment. And I was like, okay, this is a thing. More women need to know about this because if it changed me, it changed the way I see myself, I see my soul. And then as I started, well, kind of like drive testing it on my own way of doing business, I was like, if it's so life changing for me, there are definitely other people that can beneficiate for that can have their lives change with this. I'm like, this is something people need to know. This is something like I'm gonna shove it down people's throat if I need to, but like this is something people need to know. And again, like I told you, I love selling also. So this obviously is firing up my ass. So this is something I needed to share. That's how it started.
Yeah. You got to follow the calling, right? Otherwise, it feels like it builds up and the pressure builds up until you're in this pressure cooker that it's just going to explode anyway. So you may as well just go for it.
Exactly. And again, for those of you who know a bit about astrology, I mean, I have a full stellium in my 10th house that's in Leo. That is like totally like firecracker energy in the work area. Like it needs to happen. Like otherwise it's going to explode. I'm like this person that cannot shut up about what I do about work. And it's some work is literally something that I embody. So it needs to make me feel alive. It needs to make me feel happy. But as a Cancer Scorpio rising, I need to share it with others. I need to make people feel good with it, feel safe with it. So it's like I say, nothing happens for nothing. And when you read your chart, when you consider the universe's energy, this is when you realize that universe is such a beautiful system. It's such a beautiful thing that just like works with itself and also works with your soul. You just need to understand how to work with it.
Yeah. So one of the things that people tend to say to me is like, I can't keep up with you, Nicole, right? Because I move so fast. Like everything happens so fast in
Mhm.
your world. And if you look at it, I'm an Aries with a Gemini rising and a Gemini moon.
Crap, okay.
So
So
things happen pretty quickly.
mess around with stuff.
It's, yep,
You go ahead. Yeah.
right? And not everybody is like that. So the people are going to be in these spaces where, maybe you don't know why something doesn't click with you and someone else. Or maybe there's some underlying things with another person. And if you're considering a business partner, right? Like a full-on business partner, not like an affiliate partner or somebody you partner with for referrals. I'm talking like if you're going to marry up in the business realm, like what are some of the things that people should consider? Because this sounds like something, some might think it's hokey pokey, but if you really take a look at some of these underlying pieces, you would know here's where your conflicts are, here's where your strengths complement each other, those types of things, right? Can you talk a little bit about how this helps in business?
Sure. Well, as you mentioned, like the whole business partner kind of thing. Yeah, there's my cat behind.
Yep.
She loves astrology. Um, I think the first question that should rise up in people's mind is, am I someone that would work well with a business partner? And I I'm mentioning this because I had a client come to me for a reading session, and her main question was, I am considering to go on the lookout for a partner to help me get my business started like faster. Is that something that I should do? I take a look at her chart, and there's so much Aries in her chart. And I'm like, girl, don't. If you want to get partner up in some way with people, I mean, get a coach, get into a community, get into a group, but a partner would literally slow you down because you know it. You're an Aries yourself. Like once you have an idea, you charge, like head down, you just go for it. So I think a business partner in that case would just slow you down because then you need to be like, hey, like I have this idea. Are you okay with this? Like, I mean, should we work around this? It would just slow you down and frustrate you in the end. So I think this is a really good way, astrology, to, well, first of all, settle down if you are a business partner type of person or more of a getting support in an other way type of person for your business. But then for someone who you look at their chart is really more of a passive person who doesn't necessarily like as this fast decision like ability, or is more of like someone that likes to be safe, grounded in their emotions, then this must be this is someone that would work well in a partner, with a partner that would fire up their ass a bit. Because if you want to own a business, if you want to be a CEO, well, you need to make decisions fast. You cannot be indecisive and be like, I'm gonna stay in my little bubble, safe and grounded and all. And like, you need to get fired there. So, this astrology is perfect really to determine if one, you're the person that would work well with a partner, but also once you settle down a possible partner, to see with what we call a synastry reading if that person and you will work well together, which is also really important.
Great pieces of information. And along a similar line, but different, right, is the person that's out there and they're thinking, I really want to get in business for myself. I want to embrace entrepreneurism, but I'm not really sure what to do. I like these 5 different things and I don't know what to do. How can you speak to that person out there?
Well, first of all, if you are looking to get into business and you're in that first stage, like where you're just like, like I like the old like business idea thing, like leaving my 9 to 5, but what the heck am I gonna do? First of all, the first thing that I would consider is getting a coach that is really good on strategy. You have coaches that are more mindset oriented, more energetic oriented. For you, I would definitely focus on a coach that is really good with strategy and with step-by-step strategy. Because if you don't know where you're going, you need structure. So this is the first thing that I would recommend. The second thing is astrology can definitely help you narrow down that zone of genius of yours. So it can tell you if you're more a service oriented person, if you're more a manual type of like crafty person that would do well with creating things. It can tell you if you're more of a people person, if you're more of a more introvert person. So what would be the best strategy for you to approach to gain clients, to build your audience? I mean, astrology can tell you literally everything about your personality, your soul, your purpose, your strengths, your weaknesses, your challenges, how to overcome those challenges. I mean, getting an astrology reading for that purpose or getting a business astrology strategist on your side would definitely be a good step to help you guide you first in what kind of products or services you would be offering and what suit of services or products would be best for you. Because again, there are business people out there that get a new program out every month, but that's who they are. They need things to be moving. They always need to innovate, create something new. But there are other people that are more like, I'm a one-on-one kind of person. I like things to be really more steady, be a bit slower, and that's good too. It's just two different business models that can be really sorted out, if you say, towards which one would be best for you through an astrology reading.
What is something that astrology helped you to do that felt very profound in your life?
One thing that astrology, and that's every day, is to understand why I am feeling a certain way and what I should do to alchemize that energy, to transform that energy. And I think the best example that I would give, because it's really recent for me, but everyone too, is the last eclipse season that we had. So the season that started towards the end of April and ended towards the end, the beginning of May. And I remember so many people were feeling overwhelmed, lost, confused, with mixed emotions, exhausted, like they wanted to burn everything down to the ground and start over. And I was like, guys, we're in like a freaking energical, challenging moment right now. And to know how to take this energy and transform it is something that I would not know how to live without now that I know how to do this. Because me knowing that this was what was happening, it allowed me to create something crazy that I'm so excited now about in my business, which is a business astrology certification program. So that time really allowed me. I was like, like everyone else, I was like, oh my God, I want to burn everything to the ground. Like, this is not like suiting to me. I need something new. And then this kind of pop out, like, you've been thinking about doing this for a while. I mean, now would be a good moment. So understanding what the universe wanted me to think about, why it was happening to me, how did this energy was reacting with my birth chart energy, why, where, really helped me transform this messy energy into something freaking amazing. And thanks God, because I was seeing a lot of people, like when I was scrolling on Facebook, being like, "Oh, I don't know what's happening to me. I'm exhausted, but then like I want to burn everything. Maybe I should move. Maybe I should stay. I don't know. Maybe I should just start another business. Maybe I should close." I was like, yeah, eclipses would do that to you guys. And they were like, "Oh, that makes so much sense." I'm like, of course it does.
Whether it's personal or business development, what is it that you're not seeing? What is it that needs to be brought
Mhm.
to the surface? What is it that's been hidden all this time that you might need to pay attention to, or what needs to be unlocked? So for you, it looked like, this potential energy that was sitting there turned into kinetic energy. I'm going to use scientific terms because that's me. That potential energy turned into that kinetic energy that you were able to plug into and not get burnt out and overwhelmed and, blow the fuse, because you knew where it was being directed to instead of being chaotically all over the place. You were able to hone it on in and focus it in and direct it in this avenue that created this basically this new life in your business too. How great is
Yes,
that?
it's freaking amazing. I mean, in the moment, it's chaotic, but when, and that's the beautiful thing, that beautiful feeling when all the pieces of the puzzles like suddenly fall into place. You went from looking at those messy puzzle pieces and being like, okay, where is everything going, to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put that one here and that one here, and then create this beautiful like masterpiece. So this is why I keep telling people, business owners, but also, everyone should do business with an astrologer to understand how to use the current energy to their best advantage, but also understand why they are feeling a certain way. Because sometimes you're exhausted, you don't know why, but there's no reasons. Well, I mean, look what's happening in the universe. Or sometimes you're confused, like you wake up and you're confused for no reason. Well, I mean, look what's happening in the universe too. Nothing is for nothing.
You don't even have to fully understand, but just being aware that there are energies that are just happening around you that are influencing you, and you are influencing energies around you as well. So it's everything just mixing and mingling into one. But when things amplify, so do you. And it's going to trigger something. And if you have a way to direct it in a positive way, the outcome will be positive. But if you're not sure, or you allow it to direct you in a negative way, that's where it feels chaotic, overwhelming, exhausting, all that stuff. And you just feel burnt out because you're plugged into a source that's zinging you with energy and you don't know where to go. So you're the only ground. And if you're not grounded out, right, what happens? It just,
It's not for me. Not for me. You're lost, you're confused, and we don't like that.
yeah. So what do people come to you the most for?
So most of the time, they come to me because they are confused about a certain part of their business, either whether they should go a certain direction or not, or they just feel confused in general. They feel like they're not moving anymore. They feel like everything's more challenging, like more challenging than it should be. So they come to me and they're like, okay, fine, what should I do? What are the different options? I mean, why am I feeling this way? And how can I, transform this into something that is productive and that is going to help me grow as an individual, as a business owner, but that's also going to help me grow my business, scale my business, and ultimately, like, get me more clients, get me more premium aligned clients, and get me more money without necessarily having to work harder or being more stressed. I find the women that I work with are women that are in tune with universe, are in tune with their own spirituality are really open to, trying out different tools to help them and help their business. Now, I also get this question. I mean, I'm not versed in astrology. Can I work with you? Absolutely. Okay. You do not need to be like an astrology like expert. I have clients that come to me and they know nothing about astrology, like nothing. They're just curious to try something new to, deepen their spirituality, deepen their practices. And, they're open minded. They heard about astrology and they're curious about it. And that's perfect. I mean, something that I love to do is educate my clients. I mean, educate them on what I'm seeing, what is happening, so they can understand why I'm suggesting some things and why I'm suggesting that they do not do some things. Instead of just being like, okay, this is like the match plan for you, I'm like, okay, this is what I would suggest, but this is why I'm suggesting it. Because for me, someone that wants to work with astrology is also someone that wants to understand themselves, their souls, and what is happening in the universe. And for me, that passes through, educating my clients too.
And I think that's really, really important because that helps a lot when people understand and they understand the why. Why are you telling me to do this? And when I understand why I should do this or why you're suggesting to do this, then it makes it easy to assimilate and do something that maybe I might have some resistance towards, which is part of the process of overcoming the limiting beliefs and behaviors that are sabotaging you so that you can move forward. So everybody wants to know, where do they find you? How can they connect with you? And I'll put everything in the links, in the description, so people will have those links and everything like that. But for those just listening in, maybe they're driving and can't see just yet, how can they get a hold of you?
Now, my main two hanging places are Facebook and Instagram. So you can find me on Facebook through my full name, Véronique Lecroix, which is like on the screen right now with the right spelling. Or you can find me on Instagram at oracle_V, V being VEE. And I am really active on both platforms. I literally sleep with my phone. So you can be sure that if you send me a DM, either on Facebook or Instagram, I'm going to answer you in like the next hour or two, unless I'm busy or sleeping. So Facebook, Instagram, comment on my posts, ask me questions, shoot me a DM. I am super happy to answer you. Come and let's talk. Let's talk about astrology and like what would be the best options for you and I to work together.
That sounds fantastic. V, is there anything that you want to leave our listeners with today?
Oh, yes. One of my main saying as an astrologer is, guys, there are no bad transits, no bad aspects. There are only really bad astrologers that have no clue what to do of them. So next time that you see something on Facebook that's like, oh my God, like Mercury's in retrograde again, like doomsday's coming. It's not. This is just someone who has no clue what to do with Mercury in retrograde.
Ooh, and that is such a good one. I think it's fun to like blame it on Mercury retrograde, but it's really not that bad. And if you know what to do next, or you know what to avoid, right, that exacerbates something in particular for you in your life, well, then it becomes very easy to deal with, move on, grow through, process, pick one, and go and move forward. So thank you, V, for being here today. And I hope all of you out there, whatever time, day or night it is, wherever you are, I hope that you got some really great nuggets of information because it was packed on through. And listen again if you need to. And until next time, thank you all. Mwah. Much love. Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Magic and Miracles podcast, where everyday folks like you share their life-changing stories. The world wants to hear your extraordinary story, so is it about time you tell it? you might just end up being someone else's miracle waiting to happen. If you would like to be a guest on the show, please submit your application for consideration. If you would like to nominate a guest or submit a personal story to be read on the show, please contact us via email. In the meantime, enjoy the journey. You never know when you will experience a miracle that will change your life forever, or if you will become someone else's real-life angel. Goodbye for now, and see you on the next episode of Magic and Miracles, the podcast with wings.